to take this opportunity to shine a spotlight on a few really meaningful projects coming from the Burning Man community in the world. Stephen and I will be inviting a few community members for lightning talks, which are quick share outs, really quick, from the regional network community about projects that they're shepherding that may electrify and inspire you. The first lightning talk is about the Temple of Tranquility, a community-driven response to some of the collective traumas and grief experienced in the Boulder, Colorado community in the US. This includes, you might have heard, the King Super shooting, the pandemic, the Marshall Fire, and associated challenges from the past couple of years. Burning Man Regional Contact for Boulder, Caroline Kert, Caroshine, will be sharing more about this participatory experience designed to foster community healing, personal expression, catharsis, and new beginnings. She's been serving as an RC since 2016 and previously was the president of Apogea, which is a regional event, an official one in Colorado, and a member of the Boulder Arts Commission. Welcome, Caroshine.
Thank you, Iris. Yes, I'm Shine. I'm a regional contact in Boulder, Colorado, which is a very progressive, safe town in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. And we have a really active Burning Man community there. In 2017, I attended a Burning Man Leadership Summit, and I was really inspired by the Catharsis on the Mall project. It really opened my imagination about the ways that the Burning Man culture and communities could become known for more than the great parties and events that we throw, but also for how we can support healing in the default world. So I want to take you back to the end of 2020 and early 2021. And in the United States, we were all grappling with a global pandemic, political unrest, and the events that were unfolding in Washington, D.C., as well as important racial equity conversations that were happening across the country. Myself, So Rachel Kane, and Birthday, who are all Colorado RCs, were having weekly conversations to support each other so that we could stay mentally well and in turn support our Burning Man communities. So we began having these dreamy conversations about what it might look like to bring healing to our community through a Burning Man style temple. As burners, we all know that the power and healing of laying down our grief, loss, and trauma in a temple, and having those writings witnessed by others, and then the cathartic release that comes in burning these messages away in the presence of our community. So we thought our world needed more of this healing. We just didn't have any specific plans. And in the beginning of 2021, it was just still dreamy ideas. Then March 22nd happened, and our safe Boulder community was rocked by the King Super shooting in a South Boulder neighborhood where 10 people, including a police officer and a member of the Burning Man community, were killed. We watched as our community grappled with how to manage widespread trauma and loss, and this catalyzed our ideas into action. Within a month, we had the beginnings of an advisory committee for the Temple of Tranquility, and that included the architect for Black Rock City's Imperium Temple, Renzo Verbeck, who was also a resident of Boulder. We had begun talking with the city about our plans, and our greatest focus was on finding a champion in the city who understood that we could have a safe burn experience in a city that has a dry climate and is fire averse. We planned to have the temple release on the 1-year anniversary of the King Super shooting. And then December 30th happened, and our community was rocked again, this time by the Marshall Fire. Nearly 30,000 people in the south end of Boulder were evacuated, and 1,100 homes were burned to the ground and completely disappeared. Our project pivoted, and we're now planning for a release event in October of 2022 that doesn't include any sort of fire element. I want to share my screen with you. Just a moment. So this is the Temple of Tranquility. It's a Burning Man style temporary wooden pavilion that's open to the public for approximately 2 weeks. It's adorned by 10 crystals that represent those lost in the King Super shooting. And the temple is going to be placed in a community park in South Boulder, which is the area most impacted by the shooting and the Marshall Fire. The park has open spaces, a pond, and views of the mountains. Renzo Verbeck's thoughtful design is meant to invoke the act of coming through something and emerging on the other end. The walls are curved to remind us that we can't always see what's ahead of us and around the corner. And stakes are placed at both the entrance and the exit to encourage participants to acknowledge obstacles and that others are moving through the same obstacles as them. There will be plenty of surfaces for participants to write upon, and we'll use ribbons to hang from the ceiling and create more interactive space. The temple experience will also include community outreach projects, including art as therapy for the schools, and adult workshops that focus on using creative expression for healing trauma, carpentry, and CNC skills. The default community and local nonprofits have already begun offering their energies to create the space and programming with us. And we plan to have an opening ceremony and a powerful release event that does not include fire. We currently are seeking volunteers and donors, and you can learn more about how to contribute money and energy by visiting the templeoftranquility.org. And we'd also like to thank BWB Colorado for providing us generous initial grants toward our project. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Shine. The Temple of Tranquility is such a beautiful example of the healing that art can bring. And we're grateful to all of you.